breaking news coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated Tariq Rehman on his spectacular win in the Bangladesh elections. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is congratulating the new leader of Bangladesh, of course, the leader of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party.
That's
when
right.
his late mother, when she passed away, Begum Khalida Zia, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar went to Dhaka. Geeta was a part of that condolence. So India was also quick off the block, engaging, perhaps reading the the writing on the wall, engaging very extensively with almost all stakeholders.
Absolutely, Gaurav. That's the news coming in. India read the room, and the first, or probably the first world leader to congratulate Tariq Rehman could very well be Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I do not know whether that's absolutely correct, but certainly one of the first. Prime Minister Narendra Modi tweets, and I quote him, "I convey my warm congratulations to Mr. Tariq Rehman on leading BNP to a decisive victory in the parliamentary elections in Bangladesh." He goes on to say, "This victory shows the trust of the people of Bangladesh in your leadership. India will continue to stand in support of a democratic, progressive and inclusive Bangladesh. I look forward to working with you to strengthen our multifaceted relations and advance our common development goals." That's the news that's just coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, probably the first world leader and an important neighbor of Bangladesh, congratulating Tariq Rehman after the landslide victory of BNP in the elections held in Bangladesh. Tariq Rehman set to be the next Prime Minister of Bangladesh. That's
and
the news.
What a journey for him, Geeta. What a journey for Tariq Rehman. In December, he returns to Bangladesh after 17 years in exile, and within 2 months slated to be he's already the chairman of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, slated to be the next prime minister. How do you look at India engaging so quickly the moment results are out, to the fact that External Affairs Minister had gone there that time, engaging with all stakeholders? Shubir Bhomik?
Well, let me tell you that how India's engagement in Tariq Rahman began much before S. Jaishankar went to Dhaka. It began actually in London. Don't forget that our High Commissioner in London today is somebody who has served for a long period in Bangladesh quite effectively, Vikram Doraiswamy. And there are people in his team who have also served in Bangladesh. So the engagement started long back, but as they say, that they kept it under the wraps. Because if the engagement is too much, there are people in Bangladesh, and especially people on the radical fringe, who will start saying that now BNP is the new Dalal of India and all that, the accusations that were leveled against Awami League. But let me tell you, I know it for a fact that India's engagement with Tariq Rehman began long before S. Jaishankar landed in Dhaka to condole his mother's death. This is number one. But Gaurav, you were actually, let me bring another thing in this discussion, because you were talking of the hitch points. What is going to happen now? Smooth sailing, hoga, nahi hoga, that kind of thing. The real problem is going to start over the referendum, because BNP is winning hands down. But the yes vote also, in the referendum has secured a majority of sorts. Okay, 55% people have voted. Out of that, 67% has said yes to the referendum, which means now.
Kabir, can I just interrupt you here, because a lot of people who are watching this right now do not understand what this referendum is really about. A lot of people know that, okay, there have been elections in Bangladesh and that BNP is coming to power. Explain to our viewers what this referendum would really mean, the July Charter, because it does strip away the Prime Minister of powers and gives extraordinary powers to a president of Bangladesh. And is Yunus eyeing the presidential seat?
Most importantly, Geeta, the July Charter is supposed to be the starting point of a new constitution for Bangladesh. That's how Yunus and his people looked at it. Ali Riaz, who is in charge of the Constitution Commission, Professor Ali Riaz, a United States national, and my former colleague in the BBC, these people have looked at the July Charter as the beginning of a process of coming up with a new constitution for Bangladesh. Let me actually say, make it very clear here that the BNP had supported the cause of the yes vote, but BNP before that had
Yes.
raised serious objections about certain points in the July Charter. The main reservations that the BNP has already expressed about the July Charter is that the party strongly opposed the treating of the July Charter as supreme and it's above the Constitution. 72. It also objected to provisions that would prevent courts from questioning the charter. There are a number of points that the BNP leader Salahuddin had actually said that when the July Charter was finally published, their objections to the July Charter, which they made it very clear in their meetings with Yunus and his team, were not reflected in the final publication of the July Charter. Now
Which
that's
brings
going
us
to
to
be
the
the core
point then, will this lead to a Yunus versus Tariq Rehman clash in times ahead? Ambassador Ashok Sajjanhar, welcome on this debate, welcome on this discussion. A new dawn for Bangladesh. Tariq Rehman handsomely wins both his own seats and of course the BNP in Bangladesh. What does this mean for Bangladesh? India's congratulated him already. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's very warm message on social media platform X, and of course the likely clash, if you feel so, with Mohammad Yunus.
Yes, thank you very much, Gaurav and Geeta, for having me on the show. Very right. So first on Prime Minister Modi's message of congratulations. I think this is a follow-up to what External Affairs Minister Jaishankar, when he had gone to participate in the funeral ceremony of Begum Khalida Zia. Also, the very warm letter that had been written by Prime Minister Modi, I don't think that has been referred to. That is something that we need to keep in mind, because basically, if you look at it, the last BNP tenure, 2001 to 2006, Gaurav, I was in Dhaka in the early 1990s, again when Begum Khalida Zia was in power. At that time also, India was quite sidelined, but not to the extent that we were done in 2001 to 2006. But Prime Minister Modi did not sort of, refer to that at all. He did not pay any attention. What comes to my mind, if you permit, Gaurav, I'll say,
Yes.
it's exactly the sort of thing that happened when Mr. Modi came to power in 2014, and he got a call from Barack Obama. And at that time, it was, for 10 years before that, the United States had cancelled the visa of Mr. Modi. And there were reports here that he should not take that call. But he went ahead, took that call, and you see where the relations are.
Yes.
I think something similar here as far as Bangladesh is concerned. We are reaching out. We have always said, Gaurav, I have been visiting Dhaka every year for the last 3-4 years to participate in some conferences or the other. And the point that we have always made is that it is for the people of Bangladesh to make the choice as to what government they want to have. We were engaging with the government in power when Awami League was there. And of course, our neighborhood first policy, we take it forward, and similarly whatever comes here,
Okay.
but we want free, fair, inclusive. Now these elections have not been inclusive because we've seen Sheikh Hasina and Awami League has not been included, and credible elections. Credibility, I think, because of the number of people who have voted, 55%, 60% of whatever that is, I think there is certain credibility. So we are, I think India today would be heaving a sigh of relief, basically that it is not a neck and neck between BNP and the Jamaat.
No,
Jamaat
that's a
is
very interesting point that you make there, Ambassador.